Okay, 1-point perspective. First thing you're going to do is draw yourself a horizon line. Make sure it's level with the top edge of your paper. So here's my horizon line. This is drawing 1-point perspective from using a system, not from observation. Then on my horizon line, I'm going to have to put my vanishing point. So this is going to be my vanishing point. This is where all my diagonal lines are going to go. I'm then going to draw a flat shape. I'm going to draw a square. I'm going to go below my horizon line. You guys can do these any size that you want. So again, this has to be level and even with my horizon line. If it's at an angle, then I'll have a crooked shape. I'm now going to draw the bottom. I'm making mine about 2 inches. Connect the sides. Make sure it's straight. You can rule these if you want, but I'm doing it faster, so I'm not ruling it. I put my shape a little bit to the side of my vanishing point. So that way I'm going to end below the horizon line. So I'm going to see the top and the left-hand side of my perspective, 1-point perspective cube. So this is a front flat square now. Doesn't have depth. Now I'm going to go from each of these corners right here of the square, and I'm going to go back to this point. I'm going to line those up. That's my 1 point. It's vanishing. Vanishing point means the lines converge at that point on the horizon. So I'm lining up the corner, I'm lining up the dot, and I'm going back to that. So there's my first line. Second line. And third. So now it looks like all of a sudden I have a dimensional shape, but it's going like a beam all the way back to the point. Now, because this is out of my head, I'm going to decide how big I want this. It could be a long shape like this. It could be a shorter shape like this. Again, I'm going to make sure it's level and parallel with the horizon line. I'm going to decide where the back of my cube is going to end, right there, and then wherever it intersects right here on this diagonal line, that's where I'm going to line that up and make a vertical line straight down to do my side wall. So I now have a 1-point perspective shape that is opaque. I can't see inside it, right? When I was all done, I would erase these lines back here, right, to have my shape. But I'm not going to quite erase them yet because I want to do the interior of it. I want to make it so it looks like it's going inside. So now I'm going to have to go from this point over here back to that point. Line them two up, draw a light line. So I'm seeing inside of it. If this was a shallow box, I could probably also see the back wall. So now I'm going to bring this intersection down to this diagonal line. And again, I want to make sure it's a true vertical. So I'm lining it up with this over here. I'm going to bring that down to there, like that. And then at this intersection, I'm going to connect this one and this one over here. Those will be my back wall. So now it looks like I'm seeing inside the box. Then I would erase this line and this line. So that looks like it's a see-through box, right? Where I can see the whole back wall as if it's invisible and I can see inside and outside at the same time. But if I also erase this one, again, my kneaded eraser doesn't erase so well on this, but if I erase that one, then it just looks like I'm seeing inside the box in that one. And then when you were all done, you would erase the perspective lines and you would have your 1-point box. I want you to try one below the horizon, try one above. If it's above the horizon, I will see underneath on the bottom. If it's right on the horizon like this, you wouldn't see the top or the bottom. So experiment with placing these different places. They can be squares, they can be rectangles, they can be long skinny beams. If I do a line like this, like a wall, right? And I went across like this, and then I do this back to here. Looks like a long wall. Here, I'll make my bottom one a little cleaner. long wall that's going back on the horizon line. If I wanted to make that a post, I would just end this back wall and I would draw it like this. And then I would have a short post, right, that's sitting out in space. Okay?